Welcome back to the One Combat channel. So right now I'm here with one of my students, which is Gustavo. Although he really isn't necessarily one of my students, he actually has been boxing for a while. He competed in some amateur shows, so he has some knowledge that he also wants to share with you guys. But today I'm just going to give you guys like a basic run through of simple southpaw, what do you call it, counter punches against an Orthodox fighter. And we're just going to show you guys kind of like the benefits of some of these counter punches that might be a little bit unconventional, and they might have a little bit more of a risk, but they also do have a high reward.
My favorite one to go for against the Orthodox puncher is a straight jab. Homeboy throws a straight jab as well. Slip on the outside and throw a lead uppercut. For a southpaw, that's kind of like my always go-to thing. I always like to jab, try to provoke something, right? Because you want a reaction, you jab, slip, throw that uppercut, and get out of it.
Cool. Alright guys, and this is very conventional just for the mere fact that for the most part, like as a southpaw fighter, like you're always taught, or when every time that you're going up against the opposite stance, you're always kind of taught to win like the outside angle, right? And this is like a very kind of safe way to counterpunch, just for the mere fact that you're getting away from the right hand. Exactly. Like you're basically getting away from the right hand of the Orthodox fighter's straight cross, which is ultimately one of the best weapons that the Orthodox fighter does have against the southpaw fighter. So one more time.
Here's a real life example using Vasyl Lomachenko. So here the Orthodox fighter actually throws a left jab to Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko drops his left shoulder towards his right side, basically unaligning himself with the Orthodox fighter's right hand. This also gives him the opportunity to counterpunch with that lead uppercut or that right hand. So as you guys can tell right here, he throws that right uppercut and counters his opponent beautifully. Honestly, from this clip, you can't really see Vasyl Lomachenko's whole body, so you don't really see the lead foot positioning. But right now, I'll show you guys a real life example using Terence Crawford. So here's the same counterpunch. The only difference is, of course, that it's Terence Crawford on screen being the southpaw fighter now. So what I like about this shot is the fact that you guys can see both of these fighters' full bodies. So once again, like I mentioned, here it is in slow motion. The Orthodox fighter will actually throw that left jab. And so once again, Terence Crawford is looking for that lead right uppercut. So pay very close attention to what's happening with the foot positioning. So as you guys could tell, Terence Crawford's lead right foot is on the outside of his opponent's lead left foot. So this allows him the opportunity to use that outside angle towards his right side. This will give the opportunity for Terence Crawford to pivot back to the center of the ring. This will actually force his opponent to pivot with him and leave him a little bit off balance. So it never gives him the opportunity to throw a counter to Terence Crawford's movement.
Nice. There you go. Nice. Nice. Like I told you guys, we're going to give you guys other examples that might be a little more risky, and you guys will see examples, so it gives you guys kind of like a little bit more of a risk. So it puts you guys in a position where like it's like you're lining yourself up to the Orthodox fighter's best punch against the southpaw fighter, which is the right hand. Sometimes you guys will actually see the southpaw fighter go the opposite way, right? So maybe you throw a jab, I'll jab out and throw a lead or left uppercut, right? So he took an angle, which is of course is a little bit more is a little bit more safer, just from the fact that you once again kind of unalign yourself, right, with the Orthodox fighters like right cross, right, because you basically get on the outside of the right hand. But in our case, we're just kind of like gonna make it a little bit more like risky, so it's jab straight and then right there, boom, exactly. As for that one, unlike the other angles where he actually gets to the outside, but this one is actually cool that his foot is actually on the inside. So from this position, right, it doesn't really matter, right? So basically from that position, I mean, it'd be a whole lot better if his foot is actually on the inside, because basically like uppercuts and hooks, they're very short punches. So you actually want to be really, really fast with them. And once again, you want to be very, very close and very much on the inside, just because you don't want to give him the opportunity to have some space and be able to catch you at the end of his punches, basically.
So on screen, you guys will actually see someone that has mastered this counterpunch, which in my opinion is Gervonta Davis, at least in the current era. So right now I'm actually going to break down this clip right here so you guys can see like a full analysis of exactly what we were talking about with this counterpunch. So in this case right here, Davis drops his right shoulder towards his left side, which unlike our previous examples with Crawford and Vasyl Lomachenko, where the fighters drop their left shoulder towards their right side to unalign themselves with the right hand, this time Gervonta Davis actually aligns his body or his head towards the opponent's right cross, right, which is very unconventional. So another thing I want you guys to have remembered from what I was explaining on the mitts is the fact that Remember, you guys don't want to be on the outside of your opponent's right cross, so you guys don't want to give him the space for him to actually catch you at the end of his punches, right? So Gervonta notices the fact that every time his opponent throws that left jab is because he's moving in a little bit closer. So this allows him the opportunity to also not have to chase his opponent to close in the distance to throw these short punches, right? These uppercuts and these hooks that are thrown on the inside. So as you guys could tell, his opponent steps in and comes in closer to Gervonta Davis, which allows Gervonta Davis the opportunity to come up with that left uppercut. Rewind these clips and notice where his opponents start and where they finish. Here once again you guys see that his opponent moves in closer to Gervonta. Gervonta just patiently waits to counterpunch him with that left uppercut. So just pay very close attention to all of these clips and where his opponents start off. So right now I'm actually going to show you guys some combos that you guys could actually do to work this counterpunch on the mitts.
There you go. Nice. Another punch that the Southpaw fighter actually does have against the Orthodox fighter is actually, once again, we're going against unconventional wisdom, which is actually going towards the right hand. But just like how he did in the first example, like he kind of took a little cut to the side, we're going to do the same thing, but this time with the right hand, right? So now he's actually going to move towards my right side or his left side. So the jab, sit my right hand, boom, and from that position you throw a left cross, right? So one more time, right? So it's again. Nice, again. There you go, nice. One more time. There you go.
Here's a real world example using Conor McGregor. So you don't always need to win leap foot position. So from this angle you guys see how Conor McGregor drops his right shoulder towards his left side, and he's going to counter this straight right with his own straight left. So as he slips this punch, he throws this cross over the top, and as you guys could tell by his hips, he kind of like shifts his body a little bit over, so that way he has the opportunity to actually sit on his punches and KO his opponent. So this is a boxing example. It doesn't produce the same exciting results, but basically the same concept here. Shakur Stevenson is moving towards his left side, so he lines himself up with Oscar Valdez's right cross. Oscar Valdez actually manages to hit him to the body, but from this position you guys will see how even though Oscar Valdez tagged Shakur Stevenson has the opportunity to throw his left cross, and he does, which of course isn't a very solid left cross, but he does tag Oscar Valdez, and as you guys could tell, Oscar Valdez is a little bit out of position, so this will actually force him to kind of get back to his original Orthodox stance, although it's kind of weird because Oscar Valdez could actually fight Southpaw as well. So I do not want to make this video longer than what it needs to be, so here's another example by Vasyl Lomachenko, and right now I'm going to show you guys how to work it on the mitts.
There you go, nice. There you go.
Just lift. When you're going to start. Yeah, bro.
There you go. There you go. This is very unconventional, just because conventional wisdom kind of always tells us go towards the opposite side, right? Go against the Orthodox or Southpaw fighters cross hand and throw cross down the middle. Exactly. And you see from this position, he actually wins the cross, right? And I don't really have the opportunity or the possibility to actually throw the cross down the middle if we're 50, like down the center line, right? 50-50.
So I'm not going to get too much into detail with this counterpunch right here because I've done it a couple times on this channel. So if you guys want to learn how to counterpunch the Orthodox fighter's left jab with this left cross right here and using that lead foot dominance angle, then I would suggest that you guys click the link in the description box. But yeah, basically I'm not going to get too much into detail because I've done this a bunch of times, but I'm actually going to show you guys how to work this on the mitts.
There you go. Nice. I know. Nice. Nice. There you go. Nice. These are like some of the basic counters. And if you guys want to get more creative, I mean, you guys could actually throw or basically put punches together, right? So like one of the combinations that I see a lot of Southpaw fighters use is, of course, like they usually throw one, boom, a hook, and then they throw right hand. So basically, yeah, that's straight left. So what this is done for is, first of all, to keep the lead hand occupied, all right? So throw again, all right? Throw a jab. So a lot of times you'll see like fighting in the opposite stance, kind of like hard at each other, right? So basically, this just kind of like keeps the Orthodox fighter kind of occupied a little bit, and then sometimes with that hook, when you throw the hook, boom, like this basically kind of like forces the Orthodox fighter to actually take a step. What the Southpaw is actually trying to do here is actually move him forward, provoke him to actually take a step to this side. So once again, he lines up with the left cross, right? Jab, jab, jab. Push, boom, there you go, exactly. So basically, you guys will see that time and time again. You have any combination that you want to share?
Not really, just a double jab, try to provoke for a reaction, whatever he comes at me with, the straight hand, just to jab.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
A parry?
Yeah, parry, I love this.
Boom. Yeah.
Come back out.
Right, no, but yourself.
So basically that will be the end of this video. These are like just simple counters that you guys could actually use on a day-to-day basis. And like I mentioned, some of these do have a high risk, high reward kind of output, because I mean, more than likely, like if you go to like a gym where it's like very old school, very conventional wisdom, more than likely they're gonna teach you to slip a certain way or win an angle a certain way. So basically, just keep in mind that like any way that you slip, there's no really no wrong or right way to actually do it. It's just a matter of understanding your positioning and understanding kind of like the angle that you have in front of you, so you guys could actually take advantage of that. So yeah, basically that will be the end of this video. You want to leave your Instagram in the description box? Yeah.
At Mr. Cass.
Yeah. So basically that'll be the end of this video. We'll put his Instagram in the description box, and you guys can actually follow him, kind of check him out. You have some footage, right?
Some boxing.
Yeah, you have some boxing footage right there in your highlights, huh? Yeah. So you guys want to see some of his highlights? Check that out.
Sure.